Navy SEAL Marcus Williams watches the hotel clerk add a $200 pet fee to his bill for his service dog when the phone rings. The clerk answers and immediately says, "I'm sorry, sir, but we need you to pack your bags right now, Marcus." Williams stands at the front desk of the Hampton Hills Hotel at 11:30 on a Tuesday night, his German Shepherd Duke sitting perfectly at his side. At 32, Marcus carries himself with the quiet alertness of someone who spent 8 years in special operations. Though his civilian clothes and tired eyes suggest he's trying hard to blend into normal life, Duke isn't just any dog. The black and tan shepherd wears a service vest with patches identifying him as a PTSD support animal. Marcus Williams is no stranger to high-pressure situations. In fact, they're what he thrives in, what he was trained for. But tonight, instead of navigating a combat zone or leading a covert operation, he finds himself in an all-too-familiar struggle, being misunderstood and disrespected because of invisible wounds. He served his country with honor, earned every scar through sacrifice, and now, standing in a hotel lobby with his service dog by his side, he's facing yet another battle, one not with weapons, but with ignorance and bureaucracy. The Hampton Hills Hotel, like many establishments across the U.S., has strict policies regarding pets. It's understandable from a business standpoint: cleaning fees, liability concerns, and potential disturbances. But in this case, those policies are about to collide with federal law, and Marcus is about to find out how much harder it is to stand up for yourself when the rules aren't always followed. Duke, Marcus' German Shepherd, is more than just a loyal companion. He's a trained service animal, specifically bred and conditioned to assist veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. His role goes far beyond emotional support. He's been taught to detect the subtle changes in Marcus' body language, breathing patterns, and heart rate that signal an impending panic attack or nightmare. When those signs appear, Duke intervenes, not with barks or growls, but with calm, calculated actions that bring Marcus back to reality. The lobby of the Hampton Hills Hotel is dimly lit, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like an unrelenting reminder of the sterile environment. The scent of industrial carpet cleaner mixes with the stale aroma of leftover coffee from the complimentary breakfast station. For Marcus, these sensory cues can be triggering. In a combat zone, such environments were neutralized quickly. Here, there's no escape, no way to shut off the noise or mask the smell. Instead, he relies on Duke, who senses the shift in Marcus' demeanor and subtly moves closer, applying gentle pressure to his leg as a form of grounding. Ashley, the night clerk, is young, early 20s, and working her third consecutive graveyard shift. She's efficient, methodical, and seemingly unaware of the gravity of the situation unfolding before her. As she processes Marcus' reservation, everything seems routine until she notices Duke. Her fingers pause over the keyboard, and her expression shifts slightly, curiosity turning into confusion, then into something else entirely. "I'm sorry, sir," Ashley says, her voice clipped and professional, "but our policy requires a $200 pet fee plus an additional $50 per night for animals." Marcus doesn't react immediately. He knows this could go either way. Some hotels recognize the difference between pets and service animals. Others don't. And some, like Ashley, might not even try. He calmly pulls out the folder containing Duke's service dog certification, his own medical documentation from the VA, and the official registration from the veteran service organization that provided the dog. He slides the documents across the counter without saying a word. Ashley glances at them briefly, then shakes her head. "I've seen fake paperwork before," she says. "It's all over the internet. Corporate has been cracking down on people misrepresenting their pets as service animals." Her tone is dismissive, almost defensive. She's not outright rude, but there's a clear undercurrent of judgment in her voice. To Ashley, this is just another case of someone trying to get around the rules. What she doesn't realize is that Marcus is not just another guest. He's a Navy SEAL, a war veteran, and someone whose mental health depends on the presence of a highly trained service dog. Federal law prohibits charging fees for legitimate service animals, Marcus explains, keeping his voice steady despite the rising tension in his chest. "Duke is registered, certified, and trained to help me manage my PTSD. You can verify that information if you'd like. Ashley crosses her arms. Look, I know the law. I'm just doing my job. But she's not doing her job correctly. Federal regulations under the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, clearly state that individuals with disabilities cannot be charged extra fees for service animals. That includes cleaning costs, pet deposits, or anything else related to the animal's presence. If Ashley had taken the time to review the ADA guidelines or consult with her manager, she would have known that what she was doing was illegal. Instead, she doubles down. You look healthy enough, she says, narrowing her eyes. Real service animals are for blind people, not whatever psychological issues people claim to have. The words hit Marcus harder than he expects. Not because they're cruel, though they are, but because they reflect a widespread misunderstanding about PTSD. Unlike physical injuries, which leave visible scars and require obvious accommodations, the effects of trauma are often invisible. They don't come with wheelchairs or canes. They don't fit neatly into public perceptions of disability. And yet, they are just as real and just as debilitating. The conversation draws attention from other guests in the lobby. A businessman waiting for the elevator stops to watch. An elderly couple near the vending machines exchanges whispered comments. Marcus feels the familiar tightness in his chest, the sensation of walls closing in that Duke is trained to detect. His breathing becomes shallow, his muscles tense, and his eyes begin scanning the room for threats that aren't there. In a combat zone, hypervigilance saved lives. In a hotel lobby, it makes him look paranoid. Ashley adds the charges to Marcus' bill regardless of his objections. She slides the key cards across the counter with irritation. Some hotels don't allow animals at all, she reminds him. So consider yourself lucky. Marcus stares at the screen showing the added fees, $250 total. It's money he can't afford. The funds were meant for his sister's wedding gift, a gesture of love and support after years of family struggles. Now, it's being siphoned away for something that should never have been an issue in the first place. Duke senses the shift in Marcus' emotions. He moves closer again, applying gentle pressure to his leg and nudging his hand with his nose. It's a subtle but powerful act of reassurance. The dog doesn't understand corporate policies or bureaucratic nonsense. He only knows that his handler is struggling and needs comfort. Marcus considers just paying the fee and moving on. After all, confrontation rarely solves anything, and he's already spent too much energy fighting for something that should be protected by law. But something stops him. Maybe it's thinking about other veterans who will face the same ignorance. Or maybe it's simply being tired of apologizing for needing help. He pulls out his phone and asks Ashley for her manager's contact information. She rolls her eyes. The night manager left hours ago. The general manager won't be in until morning. She suggests filing a complaint online if he's really upset about it. But Marcus knows better. Paperwork takes time, and time is something he doesn't have. So instead, he starts recording the conversation. That's when Ashley makes her biggest mistake. You call that a service dog? She scoffs. Real service animals don't look this healthy or well-groomed. You probably bought that vest online and trained the dog yourself. Her voice carries across the lobby. Everyone hears it. Marcus remains calm, but inside, he's seething. This isn't just about money anymore. This is about dignity. About respect. About the rights of veterans who serve their country and return home with invisible wounds that society still fails to understand. Duke remains motionless beside him, his training overriding any instinct to react. He knows this is not a threat. It's just another moment where his handler needs him to stay strong. Other guests begin pulling out their phones. Some start recording the confrontation. Others pull up ADA guidelines on their phones, trying to determine who is right. The businessman who offered to serve as a witness earlier steps forward again, quietly offering his support. Ashley, sensing the growing attention, becomes more defensive. She threatens to have Marcus and Duke removed from the property if he continues causing a disturbance. Tension escalates. The phone at the front desk rings. Ashley answers with her standard greeting, but her expression changes instantly. She listens intently, her face going pale as the person on the line explains what's happening. Unknown to her, the businessman has used his connections in the hospitality industry to report the incident directly to Hampton Hills Legal Compliance Department. Within minutes, the complaint reaches the right person, and the person calls the hotel. Corporate informs Ashley that charging fees for a legitimate service animal is a federal violation. The hotel could face massive fines and lawsuits. The situation needs to be resolved immediately to prevent a PR disaster. The voice on the phone is calm but firm. This is not a suggestion. It's an emergency order. Ashley tries to explain her side, claiming she was just following policy. But corporate cuts her off. They've already reviewed Marcus' documentation remotely, verified Duke's service animal status, and confirmed that every charge must be removed immediately. The legal department is standing by to ensure compliance. Then comes the part that changes everything. Ashley is informed that her authority to make decisions about ADA accommodations is revoked. She is instructed to apologize to the guest and provide upgraded accommodation at no charge. Management will arrive within the hour to conduct a full review of the incident. The phone call ends. Ashley stares at Marcus with dawning realization. She understands, finally, that she has made a career-ending mistake. She removes all pet-related charges from Marcus' bill and upgrades him to a suite at no additional cost. Her earlier confidence has vanished, replaced by nervous apologies and explanations about misunderstanding the policy. She offers complimentary breakfast, late checkout, and anything else that might prevent Marcus from filing additional complaints. 40 minutes later, the hotel's general manager arrives, still in casual clothes from being called out of bed. He personally apologizes to Marcus, explains that Ashley will receive immediate retraining on ADA compliance, and provides his direct contact information for future stays. He also offers to cover Marcus' wedding gift expenses as a gesture of goodwill. More importantly, the incident triggers system-wide policy changes across the entire Hampton Hills chain. Corporate issues new training materials about service animals, updates their reservation system to flag legitimate service dog documentation, and implements procedures to prevent similar incidents at their other properties. Marcus and Duke finally reach their room around 1 o'clock in the morning. Duke performs his routine security check, sniffing corners and exits before settling beside the bed. For the first time in hours, Marcus feels his anxiety start to ease. Duke's presence, combined with knowing he stood up for himself and other veterans, helps him relax enough to consider sleep. The wedding weekend goes smoothly, and Marcus' sister never knows how close he came to missing it because of a hotel clerk who didn't understand the difference between pets and service animals. 6 months later, Marcus receives a handwritten letter from Hampton Hills corporate thanking him for his patience during the incident and informing him that Ashley completed extensive disability awareness training and is now one of their most knowledgeable employees regarding service animal accommodations. She apparently asked to write him a personal apology, which was included with the corporate letter. The real victory isn't the upgraded room or corporate apologies. It's knowing that other veterans with service dogs won't face the same ignorant assumptions and illegal charges. Marcus' willingness to document the incident and push back against discrimination created changes that ripple beyond his own experience. Duke continues to be his anchor in civilian life, detecting anxiety attacks before they start and providing the steady presence that makes normal activities possible. The dog doesn't care about corporate policies or federal laws. He just knows his job is to keep Marcus safe and functional. Sometimes standing up for what's right isn't about winning or getting revenge. It's about education. About helping people understand that disabilities come in many forms and that service animals aren't pets with fake documentation. They're highly trained partners helping veterans navigate a world that doesn't always understand the invisible wounds of war.